Louisiana Beer Review Special Edition. Schlitz Revisited. This is the 1960s Schlitz Gusto recipe. 1960s recipe from 2011. Actually, 2007 it debuted, and then it was around in a few locations, and then in 2011 it replaced the 1977 to 2011 edition of Schlitz. Okay. Yes, I did an original review in 2011. Then I did part of the regular beer project. That's not a review, though. It isn't a review. And then I did some examinations with a couple of guys. But those aren't reviews. So this is the second formal review revisited, probably the last. I have some Matt and Dana's pickled smoked sausage from Amite, Louisiana. Up there they say Amite. Put some Louisiana habanero sauce on it, black pepper, La Sierra refried black beans, and some salad with some Western dressing on it. Already prayed. And I put some, buried some Colby cheese down inside those beans, and I had some chopped yellow onions with it. Alright. Schlitz debuted 1849, Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, Milwaukee. 1912, they were the first brewing company on record to put their beers in a brown bottle because they realized it would protect the beer from being skunked. They had good marketing and whatnot, and throughout the 50s and 60s, up until 1976, they were the number 2, never really number 1, but number 2 beer brand in the country. I know Pabst was number 1 until 57, when it was passed up by Budweiser. Then Budweiser stayed number 1 until it was surpassed by Bud Light, still part of the Budweiser family. Schlitz fell off the radar. It's not even available probably in half the states. Pabst is once again pretty popular, up in the top 20 beer brands. Schlitz probably isn't even in the top 50. They said that, well, we'll get back to the story. Decent lacing, it was a thick white head and a clear, golden, bubbly, somewhat bubbly appearance. Beer Advocate says it's good. Bros haven't tried this one. Rate beer, predictably, saying it's a 16 out of 100, so it's 84% bad. But they're saying it's a 95 out of 100 for the style. So that means they just hate the style. See, they're saying the beer is bad because they don't like the style. Now, some people will say, yeah, it's a bad style. I don't know if it's a bad style. I don't know how you could say it's a bad style. If people like it, it's not bad to them. So the aroma is standard American style lager, I guess you'd say. Let's see, I'm going to hold it in this hand, right hand, because I had the cigar in the left hand earlier. It's not a bold aroma or a pungent aroma really, or anything. It's just a standard beer aroma. You want bold and pungent, get the Schlitz VSL, very smooth lager, 8.5, the super strong Schlitz. And then you'll get a lot more taste, but it'd be hard. It's kind of a rough drink. I mean, it's good, but it's rough. Those imperial lagers tend to be that way. Here's I like, the most powerful one. This and the ice brewed ice malt liquor. But this is mellow, around 4.7% alcohol. And the Schlitz family, they did a lot of bad decision making. they knew they were losing ground to Budweiser, and they started to add this special enzyme to the beer to speed up the aging process. Some scientist guy says, oh, it'll taste the same and it'll save you a lot of steps. So fine, it did it. Worked out fine. But apparently they kept adding this compound, more of it. In 1976, there were news reports coming out that people were complaining to the Schlitz company and saying there's some kind of slime in my beer, and it was leaving like this ribbon of like clear slime looking stuff. So it didn't make the beer taste different. I don't think, but the word got out. They're ruining the beer, you know. They had to dump like, I think, 500,000 barrels of beer down the drain in Tampa, Florida at their brewery, and all kind of people got fired, and their sales started to plummet in 1976. They hired a new brewmaster, Seligman. He went in there and started kicking butt, you know. And they came out with the 1977 version, which is a more purified return to form. They test marketed, people liked it. The ones who would try it, most people began to abandon the brand. They started having labor problems. They still were a powerful company though, but the last thing they really did was they sponsored the Who's tour in 1982. Corporate sponsored rock and roll stadium tour all around the country, and they had ads on TV. Schlitz Rocks America tour with the Who, and the head of the company was one of the Schlitz family members. He died of leukemia. I believe it was in '81. Other family members were a little concerned, and then Stroh's came along. Much smaller company, and they did a leverage buyout like was so common in the '80s. It was now some of the family members apparently were trying to fight to keep it. It was a hostile takeover in a way. Here's Stroh's. And some news reports were that it was an example of a minnow gobbling a whale. Stroh's couldn't maintain. They couldn't even sell enough beer to pay off the debt for the Schlitz buyout. So in 1999, they were forced to sell out to Pabst, who went around starting in the 1950s buying out companies, buying out the people who were buying out people. And that's how Pabst has their, like some beer reviewers might say, their crap beer portfolio. But Pabst is still out there today. As a brand holder, more so than a brewer, although they are apparently going to be opening some little boutique breweries around the country where they're going to brew some specialty beers like Valentine IPA, maybe some other old brands, possibly Falstaff, what I've heard. Anyway, this is relatively hoppier than the 2011 discontinued Schlitz. It's not a hoppy beer. in the world of hop mania that we have today. But it is hoppier than your regular American style lagers. It has more of a hop profile. It's a light body, it's a crisp, clean finish. It's easy drinking, it has a sweetness, a breadiness, a really good flavor. I mean, really good. It's you have to buy it to really appreciate it. It pairs so well with something like this. It would go well with hamburgers, maybe fried catfish or fried shrimp, probably broiled flounder, I'm sure. Bratwurst, sauerkraut. People oftentimes ask me, what's your favorite beer? It's hard to say because I drink so many. Miller High Life is oftentimes my go-to beer, as people call it, or I call it a standby beer, because for $9.99 an 18-pack, it's hard to beat, and that's cans or bottles, and it's a very pleasant beer like this. So I mean, these two are comparable. But I was thinking yesterday, I said, I got a envie, like they say in Louisiana. I have an envie for Schlitz, so I went to Mathern's, and they had it for $4.99 a 6-pack for these pint cans, and that's a good deal, I think. I remember 4 years ago they had it. They had a really good special, $2.99 for 6 packs of pint cans, and I bought more than one case. Excuse me. But a lot of stores don't even sell it. They have this 6-pack. There's no more bottles in Louisiana that didn't really make it. They've always made bottles of Schlitz, but for a while they were only making 40-ounce bottles. That's no longer made. You may find 6 packs of 6-ounce, 12-ounce bottles. That's all they make them, I think. And then you'll find the pint cans, the 12-ounce cans, and and that's it. And on draft in certain locations. I remember I had it on draft in Milwaukee. Don't know about Louisiana. I will say this to close this out. A 16 out of 100 is a joke. Beer Advocate's saying it's good. That's fairer. I would say it's A-, excellent at the lower end. I mean, it's probably one of the best, if not the best. I mean, you can really make a strong argument. It's the best American style adjunct to lager. It's just so unavailable and in some ways unknown. I have a cousin who's 38 years old, and I said, what do you think about Schlitz? What is that? He said, I never heard of that. I said, Russ, you never heard of Schlitz? Is that a beer? Okay, so he was born in January 1977, so by the time he was drinking, which in his case might have been in 80, but anyway, by the time he was drinking, you know, Schlitz was like out to pasture in a lot of ways. I always had a good, kind of a special place in my heart for it, because when I grew up as a child, it was like ubiquitous. Everywhere was Schlitz or naturally Budweiser. But growing up, that was like part of your childhood. My parents drank a lot of Schlitz. My mother mostly drank Dixie, but naturally Miller High Life and other things. So yeah, it was sad to see it happen, but it happens, you know. It sort of is a cautionary tale. Don't screw with the recipe. You know, don't be stupid. They were stupid. They screwed up. They paid the price. So anyway, if you see it, buy and try. You're almost certainly going to like it. And I'm really enjoying this 6-pack. I'm going to nurse it, right? Like I'm not going to drink it all in 6 days. So laissez le bon temps rouler. I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to New Orleans. Oh, and I bought this hat and this shirt from, guess where? Schlitz. Their website, which I don't think they have a gift shop anymore.